Let's talk about the morning of February 12th, 2026. This was the day the tech world didn't just wake up, it got a massive shock to the system. A bunch of announcements that seemed totally unrelated all dropped at once, and in doing so, they revealed a brand new and pretty brutal set of rules for how to win in technology. We always ask this question, right? We tend to think of the future as this slow, steady thing that just kind of happens over time. But what if that's not how it works anymore? What if, instead, the future just drops on you all at once? Well, on this one particular morning, that is exactly what happened. So let's break down what went down and what it means for all of us. All right, first up, the console wars are back on. After months of just getting absolutely pummeled by Nintendo's new hardware, the market leader, Sony, decided it was time to stop playing defense and go on the attack. And I mean hard. So let's talk about this number, 28 million. This is the number that's probably been giving Sony executives nightmares. In just 7 months, Nintendo sold 28 million Switch 2 consoles. I mean, to give you some context, the PS5, which was a huge success, only sold 10 million in that same amount of time. This wasn't just a good launch, it was an absolute monster. And you can see the damage right here. I mean, look at Japan. The Switch 2 just steamrolled the market, grabbing a wild 65% share, leaving the PS5 way behind at just 18%. And even in America, which is usually Sony's turf, the Switch 2 took a huge bite, pulling ahead with 42% to the PS5's 31%. For Sony, these numbers are terrifying. They had to do something. So what do you do when you're cornered? You bring out the big guns. Rumors started flying before Sony's big State of Play event about their software lineup. We were expecting huge games like Marvel's Wolverine and a cool new sci-fi game called Saros. But the real earthquake, the rumor that had everyone talking, was Starfield, a flagship Xbox exclusive coming to the PS5. If that's true, it's not just another game release. It's basically tearing up the old rulebook of console wars. Okay, so this is the chessboard, right? On one side, you have the PS5. It's an absolute powerhouse, no question, built for stunning 4K gaming. But then you have the Switch 2, and its whole game is about two things. It's $100 cheaper, and you can play it anywhere. Sony is betting on power, Nintendo is betting on price and convenience. When you put it all together, Sony's message was loud and clear. It was a shot across the bow to Nintendo, to gamers, and to Wall Street. They were basically saying, yeah, you might have the momentum, but don't forget, we've still got the raw power and the blockbuster games you can't get anywhere else. Okay, let's shift gears, because while all that was going on in gaming, an even bigger war was heating up in the world of AI. We saw two companies make these huge moves, but they showcased two totally different ways to get to the top. You either buy your way in, or you completely reinvent yourself. So first up is Resolve AI, and what they do is just genius. They attack the single most annoying part of online shopping. You know the drill, right? You see something you want, and it's this whole 5-minute process of leaving the app, finding the website, typing in your info. Resolve's AI just cuts through all that noise. It turns that whole ordeal into a 10-second, one-click purchase. It's a total game changer. But here's the thing. Incredible tech is worthless if nobody uses it. And this is where Resolve played 4D chess. They bought a company called Reward Loyalty. And boom, overnight, they didn't just get a company. They got 450 million active users. Add that to their existing users, and you get this massive number. Think about that. They instantly became the third biggest e-commerce player on the planet, right behind Amazon and Alibaba. So that's one way to do it. Buy your way to the top. But here's a completely different playbook. This quote really says it all. Change or die. It's the story of Nisun, a traditional fintech company in China. They were facing slow growth, maybe even going extinct. Their choice was pretty simple: pivot or just fade away. And this chart shows you exactly why they did it. As Nisun, their old company, they were basically treading water, single-digit growth, tiny profit margins. But then you look at the market for AI and fintech. It's on fire. We're talking 47% growth and way healthier profits. So they didn't just add an AI feature. They literally became an AI company, rebranding to AIO's tech to chase that insane growth. And let's be honest, to survive. Okay, so all this excitement around AI is great, but it leads to a really important question. Where's the actual money? We see the hype, we see the big moves, but is anyone actually profiting? Our third story from this crazy morning kind of brings everything back down to earth.
First, you have this really cool idea from a project called AlphaTon. Their whole pitch was solving AI's big privacy problem. Basically, instead of a giant company vacuuming up all your data to train their models, AlphaTon's system would use blockchain and fancy encryption to keep your data locked down, safe, and totally yours.
Sounds amazing, right? A total game changer. But here's the tough lesson that this morning delivered. A great idea doesn't automatically mean you have a great business. And on that very same morning, we got the earnings reports for a few AI companies. And wow, the numbers tell the story. You look at Moving Image and Realpha, amazing growth, right? 180%, 95%. But look closer. They're losing millions of dollars, just burning cash. The only one actually making a profit was NetSol. And what was their secret? They weren't some moonshot AI-only company. They took AI and plugged it into a solid business that was already working. The lesson? AI is an amazing tool, but it's not magic. It can't save a broken business model. All right, story number 4. While everyone was losing their minds over console wars and AI hype, something else was happening, kind of in the background. A quieter, but maybe even more profitable, gold rush was well underway. The logic behind this is, well, it's pretty simple and kind of scary. As we put more and more of our lives and our economy online, the cost of cybercrime just explodes. We're not talking small numbers here. We're talking about a leap from $8 trillion with a T to a projected $12 trillion in damages by 2026. That's not just a trend, it's a crisis. And a crisis creates a massive market for anyone with a solution.
And here's a company that's been quietly cashing in on that. An Indian firm, Marushka Technologies, which just went public, by the way, has been seeing this steady, incredible 40% growth year after year. They're not chasing the latest shiny object. They're providing essential security for data centers and governments. They're selling shovels in a gold rush, and it's working beautifully. So let's take a step back. We've got a console war, an AI arms race, an AI reality check, and a cybersecurity boom. 4 totally different stories all hitting on the same morning. So what's the common denominator? What's the one thread that ties all of this together? It all comes down to one thing: speed. The speed imperative. Think about it. Sony had to react lightning fast or risk becoming irrelevant. Resolve and AIOS had to adapt their entire companies like yesterday to jump on a huge opportunity. The AI startups got the message that they have to find a way to profit and do it now, not in 5 years. And Marushka? They showed how to capitalize on a massive growing problem without waiting. The winner isn't just the one with the best idea anymore. It's the one who can execute the fastest. And that's really the big takeaway from that wild morning. Technology, it never, ever sleeps. The pace is just relentless, and it's only getting faster. So the real question isn't just about what happened on February 12th. It's, are you ready for what comes tomorrow?